World War II, a global conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation, reshaped the world in ways that are still felt today. The war began in 1939, igniting a firestorm that would engulf nations and change the course of history forever. Adolf Hitler, driven by a toxic ideology of racial supremacy and territorial expansion, sought to create a new world order under Nazi rule. His vision was one of domination and subjugation, where only those deemed racially pure would thrive. Hitler's ambitions led Nazi Germany into a series of stunning early victories. Poland fell swiftly under the relentless assault of the German war machine. The invasion was marked by the brutal efficiency of the Blitzkrieg, a tactic that combined speed, surprise, and overwhelming force. Following the fall of Poland, Denmark and Norway were next to succumb to the Nazi onslaught. The rapid succession of victories left Europe in shock and awe. France, a major power, was also unable to withstand the ferocity of the German advance and fell in a matter of weeks. The Blitzkrieg, emphasizing speed and surprise, seemed unstoppable. German tanks and aircraft moved with a precision and coordination that had never been seen before. Cities were bombed into submission, and enemy lines were shattered with ruthless efficiency. These early victories emboldened Hitler, fueling his belief in German invincibility. He held meetings with his generals, planning further conquests and spreading Nazi propaganda to bolster the morale of his troops and the German populace. The Fuhrer was convinced that his strategy was flawless. However, Hitler underestimated his opponent's resolve and the vastness of the task he had undertaken. The initial triumphs gave way to prolonged battles and fierce resistance. The hubris that had driven his successes would ultimately prove to be a fatal flaw. Exhausted German soldiers faced the harsh realities of war, and the tide began to turn as Allied forces advanced, pushing back the once seemingly invincible Nazi troops. In 1941, Hitler made a fateful decision: the invasion of the Soviet Union. This decision would mark one of the most significant turning points in World War II. Hitler, confident in his military strategy and the might of the Wehrmacht, believed that a swift and decisive victory was within reach. He envisioned a quick campaign that would crush the Soviet Union before it could mount a substantial defense. Operation Barbarossa, as it was known, was a colossal miscalculation. The operation, named after the medieval Holy Roman Emperor Frederick Barbarossa, was the largest military invasion in history, involving millions of troops and thousands of tanks and aircraft. Despite the initial successes and rapid advances, the German forces soon encountered fierce resistance. Hitler believed he could conquer the vast Soviet territories before winter set in. He underestimated the logistical challenges and the sheer scale of the Soviet Union. The vast distances, poor infrastructure, and the determined Soviet defense began to slow the German advance. Hitler's hubris blinded him to the reality of the situation on the ground. He underestimated the Red Army's size and the Soviet people's willingness to fight for their homeland. The Soviet Union, under the leadership of Joseph Stalin, mobilized millions of soldiers and civilians. The Red Army, though initially caught off guard, quickly regrouped and launched fierce counterattacks. The Soviet people, driven by a fierce patriotism and the desire to defend their homeland, showed incredible resilience and determination. The German advance stalled as winter set in, with supply lines stretched thin. The harsh Russian winter, with its freezing temperatures and deep snow, took a heavy toll on the German troops, who were ill-prepared for such conditions. The supply lines, already overextended, struggled to deliver the necessary food, fuel, and ammunition. The German soldiers faced not only the enemy, but also the brutal elements. The Red Army, bolstered by Lend-Lease aid from the Allies, launched counteroffensives. The Soviet Union received crucial supplies and equipment from the United States and Britain, which helped to strengthen their military capabilities. The Red Army, now better equipped and more experienced, launched a series of counteroffensives that began to push the German forces back. The Eastern Front became a brutal war of attrition, draining German resources and manpower. The battles were fierce and the casualties were immense on both sides. The German forces, stretched thin and facing constant Soviet attacks, began to retreat. The Eastern Front, once seen as a quick victory, turned into a prolonged and bloody conflict that would ultimately contribute to the downfall of Nazi Germany. While the Wehrmacht was a formidable fighting force, it was hampered by logistical shortcomings. Germany's industrial output, though significant, could not keep pace with the demands of a multi-front war. The Blitzkrieg tactic, while effective in short bursts, was unsustainable over vast distances. German troops often relied on captured equipment and horses, a stark contrast to the motorized might of their early campaigns. The lack of a coherent logistical strategy, coupled with the sheer size of the Soviet Union, proved to be a significant factor in Germany's defeat. The Battle of Stalingrad, a brutal 6-month siege, marked a turning point in the war. The German Sixth Army, considered one of the finest in the world, was encircled and destroyed. This defeat shattered the myth of German invincibility and sapped German morale. In the West, the Allied invasion of Normandy in 1944 opened a second front, further stretching German resources. D-Day, as it became known, was a testament to Allied planning, coordination, and the courage of the soldiers who landed on those beaches. The Allied victory in World War II was not solely due to German mistakes. It was a complex interplay of strategic decisions, technological advancements, and sheer determination. The Allies, through their combined efforts, managed to outmaneuver and outproduce the Axis powers, leading to a decisive victory. The Allies, particularly the United States and Great Britain, made significant contributions in intelligence, technology, and industrial production. American factories, once producing consumer goods, were rapidly converted to produce war materials. This transformation was nothing short of miraculous, showcasing the nation's ability to mobilize resources on an unprecedented scale. The British codebreakers at Bletchley Park famously cracked the German Enigma code, giving the Allies a crucial advantage in anticipating German movements. This breakthrough in cryptography allowed the Allies to intercept and decode German communications, providing invaluable insights into enemy strategies and operations. The work done at Bletchley Park is often credited with shortening the war by several years. The United States, with its vast industrial capacity, became the arsenal of democracy, supplying the Allies with weapons, ammunition, and other vital supplies. The sheer volume of production was staggering, with American factories churning out planes, tanks, and ships at a pace that the Axis powers simply could not match. This industrial might was a key factor in sustaining the Allied war effort. The war also witnessed remarkable technological advancements, including radar, jet engines, and the atomic bomb, all of which played a role in the Allied victory. Radar technology revolutionized air and naval warfare, allowing for early detection of enemy forces. Jet engines promised a new era of faster and more efficient aircraft. And the development of the atomic bomb, though controversial, brought a swift end to the conflict with Japan. These innovations not only contributed to the war effort, but also laid the groundwork for future technological progress. Section 6. The price of hubris, Hitler's downfall. Hitler's strategic blunders, fueled by his unwavering belief in his own genius, ultimately led to Germany's downfall. His decision to open a second front in the east, his failure to anticipate the entrance of the United States into the war, and his micromanagement of military operations all contributed to the eventual collapse of the Third Reich. The Nazi regime, built on a foundation of hatred and violence, crumbled under the weight of its own contradictions. Section 7. Legacy of Defeat, a World Reshaped. The defeat of Nazi Germany had profound implications for the post-war world. The horrors of the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews, led to the creation of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The war also resulted in a new global order, with the United States and the Soviet Union emerging as superpowers locked in a Cold War rivalry. The lessons learned from World War II continue to shape international relations and foreign policy to this day. Section 8. Learning from the Past, the Enduring Relevance of World War II. World War II stands as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked aggression, intolerance, and the fragility of peace. Studying the war, understanding its causes and consequences, is essential to preventing future conflicts. As the generation that experienced the war firsthand fades away, it is our duty to remember their sacrifices and learn from their experiences. Section 9 Conclusion, the real reason Hitler lost World War II. While Hitler's early victories might have seemed unstoppable, they masked fundamental weaknesses within the Nazi regime. Hitler's strategic miscalculations, logistical failures, and underestimation of his opponents ultimately led to Germany's defeat. The Allied victory was a testament to their combined military might, technological innovation, and unwavering resolve. The lessons of World War II continue to resonate today, reminding us of the importance of diplomacy, international cooperation, and the constant vigilance required to safeguard peace and freedom.